All right, good evening. This is Teddy Perm. Today is September the what, 12th? And I'm interviewing Mr. Louis Panaflex, our legal eagle. He's our Todd Stone of Richmond, Virginia, with the legal answers to the question, because he ain't trying to help poor people. Todd Stone is not trying to help poor people. Give us your take on the debate yesterday that you saw on the internet that was recorded. Give us a take on what you think on Antonette Irving, because I don't think she is not.
My grandmother, who is white, recommends Antonette Irving. She feels that she has the experience to run the jail. Well, my take is a little different on her. After watching her performance, she's not able to answer the question. It sounds like she's trying to run and hide. She mentioned that she was a Christian. We have a lot of Christian Democrats running the city of Richmond that don't know what they're doing. We have a pastor running the city of Richmond that don't know what he's doing. So when she says she's a Christian, that's just a turn off for me. That's a cop-out. She could not answer Chris Dorothy's question. She obviously doesn't know, or afraid to admit that she doesn't know what Chris Dorothy asked her. But Chris Dorothy is the best candidate, no matter what you may think of her. You have no, if you're honest with yourself and you know what's going on, you have no choice but to vote for Chris Dorothy or to vote for no one instead of voting for C.T. Woody. The people that vote for C.T. Woody, they need to explain to me why they support him. And his whole history is tied up in controversy. His police years, people told me, well, I voted for him in 2005 because I was tired of Michelle Mitchell. I should have left her in there, or I should have voted for Emma Defarge. C.T. Woody was not the right choice. I made a mistake, and I'm not afraid to admit it. But I haven't voted for him since, and he'll never get my vote ever again in life. I will never support a Woody for anything.
That's right. Now, my thing was to Chris Dorsey yesterday at the debate before it started. Now, she's been working in Henrico County for 25 years. Now, the Henrico County Jail is a totally different animal than the city of Richmond Jail. She's been up there where they've been treating the people humanely. When she get down there in that jail, she will see how they have turned these people into hoodlums, thugs. They've taken away the self-esteem, self-respect, and everything. Those people are down there at that jail, what they have molded them into after all that time. What do you think about that, Mr. Panaflex?
Well, I thought about running for sheriff myself. I thought I was going to run for Commonwealth Attorney, but I decided against it. I should have ran for something because we needed to round out the ticket in Richmond. No office should go uncontested. Every office should be contested. But maybe we might get somewhere at the Commonwealth Attorney where we can't get with the sheriff. But anyway, someone needed to run for sheriff. I'm glad Chris is running. If he wasn't running, then I had to go on Miss Irving because I felt she had more experience, even though I have questions about her judgment. So anybody would be better. Your 2-year-old child may be better than C.T. Wood. He lied. He told lies in the style because they gave him a platform they didn't give to any other candidate. They tried to make Chris look like he was crazy and he was anti-American. They poo-pooed the experience of the other candidates. It's clear that the establishment, the Democrat Party establishment, the political media establishment in Richmond support C.T. Wood. I don't care how many, if they gave him $5 million, I would not vote for him. I would not put a sign in my yard. I did not applaud when he went to Richmond Tram's 8th district meeting. I did not applaud when he left. I'm not going to play that game. I know he's bad. I know his crimes against humanity, malfeasance, misfeasance, all kind of things go on at that jail. I still have not received a response to the email that I sent to him, and I probably will not receive one. I don't care. He will not get my vote. I will not encourage anyone to vote for C.T. Woody. If you want to vote for him, that's on you. But I'm not doing it. I don't want nobody to ask me about it, because I will tell you.
The truth.
Exactly.
All right. And I'm glad to hear that from somebody else besides myself. Now, I got a few words I want to say to Miss Irving.
Okay, Teddy.
Now, Chris Dorsey and I went to church last Sunday, I think it was. And we sat up in the front of the church, as I always do, because I feel like if I'm going to praise my Heavenly Father. I'm going to sit up in the front. I ain't going to run and try to hide from him. But when Chris Dorsey and I got in that church, and the usher sat us in the front, I said, I'd like a seat in the front for us. They sat us up in the front. So as I noticed, there were, that church probably hold a couple of thousand people easy. So everybody was taking pictures, had their cameras, their phones snapping and clicking. So I decided to take some pictures of the church service to share with the homeless crew and people that I know that needed some uplifting and encouragement, because that's what Lance Watson does. He's a motivational speaker. He can preach, but he's a motivational speaker. He gets people happy. He tells people what they want to hear, and they will pay him 200% of their tithes and offerings. But what I didn't like was the preacher was preaching. He had acknowledged me in there and winked his eye and pointed his finger at me. But what I didn't like was when I looked over there on the stage and I saw these two guys, which I thought was two guys. One of them had a red shirt on and another one had something else on. So we were sitting there enjoying the service. I'm up in my seat as usual, because when I hear the true word, I know it. So I know my father said, make a joyful noise. So I'm sitting there recording a few words. I wasn't trying to record the whole service. There is nothing posted in the church on the grounds at all that say no photography. So I'm wondering how this butch, because that's exactly what she looked like. Chris Dorsey said to me, Teddy, because I had never seen this chick before, and he looked at me and said, Teddy, there's Irving over there. I said, over where? Where? He said, up on this stage to the right of the pastor. So I looked at her, I said, no, Chris, that's two guys. This chick looked like a hardcore lesbian. From where I was sitting, and I looked at her, I'm like, that's a man. He said, no, that's Irving. And I said to him, that's a lesbian. That's a butch. And sure enough, in less than 3 minutes, here this chick come across the auditorium, cross 1,000 people to get to me, and show me. She came over and said, you got to cut the camera off. She didn't say, Miss, no photography. She could have waited till after the service. She did not have to break her neck, come down the steps, come across the auditorium in front of all those people with cameras and phones and tell me, sitting next to Chris Dorsey, to cut my camera off. She didn't say, Miss, would you cut it off? She didn't even have enough fucking respect to wait until the service was over and say, Miss, you can't record here. And she gonna tell me that it was in a bulletin about the recording. Well, hell, they had run out of bulletins. I wasn't given a bulletin because I asked Chris Dorsey and a couple of the ushers. They were completely out of bulletins, and I did not get to see a bulletin. So I say to you, you said at the debate that you were honest. Number one, you lied. You're not honest. You just one of them hardcore lesbians looking to get in with a room full of another female, some more females, so you can do your thing. You a liar. The truth is not in you, and the world will see that. You talking about Chris got you on tape. When I mentioned about you in a church on a radio show, you said there's a time and a place for that. The time was Sunday when we were in the church, how you had your guards and followers around in the church, them goons just like you. See, you can't come down in the church. You used to giving orders to niggas. You used to telling them what to do and where they can go. They're not going to play that in that jail. You're not going to get down in that jail and screw over people. You a liar in the Lord's house. You was a liar at WCLM on Hall Street yesterday, and you're just a loser. You will never become the sheriff. If we had a woman to be sheriff again, we want a real woman in there. We don't want a lesbian in there confused. You confused about your sexuality. You confused about the camera. You confused about walking across the auditorium telling me to cut my camera off, sister. You've been working around them men too long. You've been around there dealing with them gals too long, and you don't even look like a real woman. You actually look like a hardcore man Sunday up there on the stage with your pastor. And I've called and asked him to help me work with the homeless. I didn't get a return call. I've called him and told him the homeless is getting ready to get cold to work with me. So Lance Watson, you don't have to call me back, because I knew you before you became a pastor. I was going to the church where you were before you moved out, but it was really funny because when you left Fifth Street Baptist Church, you heard all the young people out there with you, and I thought that was really funny. But I thought that my God was involved in it. Maybe he is, maybe he's not. But you better stand up and do the right thing, Lance Watson, because even you can fall like the rest of them demons. You playing with them demons like Irving, she your head security specialist. She sucks, Lance Watson. She's one of them ones from hell. So what you doing, playing with Dwight Jones and got her up in there that she control the females for you? I'm not one of them. I can't do it. And that's the VCU bus dropping the kids off. And I'm sorry about the noise, but we are constantly getting overeducated. We overstand what's going on. We don't understand. We comprehend. We overstand what's going on in this city. And we're not the crackheads, we're the smart heads. We are drug-free, felon-free, and it's all good. And that's the way we're going to stay. We're going to win this race. With it going out, Kizzy, you are an Uncle Tom. I saw a picture of you. You look like Uncle Ben off the damn rice box. You've been there in that jail over 30 years. You retired. You saw every evil and despicable thing that went on. The only reason you were able to retire because, nigga, you was down there with all that evil and shit all them years, and they finally let you retire because you was a good nigga. You didn't say anything. You didn't run and try to save nobody. You didn't help try to save nobody's life. May the earth open up and swallow your ass, Kizzy. You. May the earth open up and swallow you, and Antonette, Irving, and what is it, CT Woody. And the earth need to swallow up and open you up. If I had my Bible right now, I would read the 55th Psalm. You read that tonight and see how God will fix it. You ain't won nothing yet, Woody. You ain't going to win. You're not going to win. I got proper grammar and got the little certificates and everything. See, when we were going to school, the kids learned. You can't compare them today to us, because all they learn is what you want them to learn, which is the hardcore music and everything. The hardcore music. So, my thing is this. Stay out in Henrico where you belong. You're a loser. You stay right on out there where you got it good. Don't come in the city, because you ain't gonna make it, boo. You just another cunt with an idea that ain't gonna pay off. And I don't like you anymore. I thought you was pretty cool, but you're a loser. In my book, you come to tell me to cut my camera off, bitch. And there's 1,000 cameras and phones going on in the church, and they're the ones sitting there with the bulletins, and you gonna tell me that the instructions were in the bulletin? Well, why all them people taking pictures? Because you don't know what you're doing. But you ain't got to worry about me coming back.
Excuse me.
Just like I said to Pastor G, Geronimo! Pastor G of the Rock, you suck. And the rock is rocking now, right? You thought you could handle me, you'll be a nasty to me? Where your church, Geronimo? Well, them demons that hid and lied and did evil things to all them kids, where are they? See? You can't mess with me. I told you you're going down. You're going down all the way. So you can curve Dwight Jones, Byron Marshall. Oh my God, there's so many losers. But I pray that the earth open up. Y'all read the 55th Psalm and see what your punishment is. That's just one of the many plagues in the Bible. And he said, before his word come back void, all heaven and earth will pass away. So, there we have it. He's not going to destroy this earth this time. The people might destroy each other, but his world is going to stand. He got to have somewhere to come back to. And for all of y'all that think y'all going to get up and fly away, you're a darn fool. Teddy Pearl, over and out with the politics in the city of Richmond. The rich get richer and the poor get poor,
Amen
but
to
the rich continue to die out as fast as they were born. Over and out. We're going to take your money from you. We're going to take your money, all your land, the same way you did our people, the same way you did the Native Americans. You stole every damn thing. You weren't everything we invented. You're using everything we created. I'm telling you, it's going to come back and bite you in the ass. Now I'm going to give me a mixed drink Jack Daniel Coke because I deserve a break dealing with you suckers every day of the week. And I'm over and out. See you, some of you suckers, later.
Deuces.
Thank you, Mr. Photographer.
Thank you.